The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. It's been a week. My goodness, but we're with you tonight. Welcome to the program for this 22nd day of August 2023. A little late because my soft streaming software needed to update. It didn't work until I updated. So we're there. That's that for that. Okay. So with all that being said, we're down to the last 3 days of the season. We will go tonight, Thursday, and Friday if needed. So tonight, it's do or die for the Atlanta Braves. The Florida Marlins have a 2-game lead at 84-75 over the Atlanta Braves. If the Braves lose this game, you cannot win being 3 back with 2 to play. So a must-win game for the Braves. It'll be Kevin Millwood going against Ryan Dempster. Now, Ryan Dempster isn't all that great, but Florida all season has overperformed. So that's the setup for you. The Braves fighting to keep their divisional championship streak alive, and they must win. That's pretty much the stakes right now. As Retro Sports Network presents... How in the world did I open that? 2001 in Action PC Season Odyssey. Tonight from Turner Field in Atlanta, Georgia, it will be the Atlanta Braves and the Florida Marlins. And tonight's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And we are off like a herd of thunder and turtles in this one. Kevin Millwood, who has done yeoman's work for the Braves in this replay, making, of course, his last start of the year. Whether he starts in the playoffs or not depends on whether the Braves make the playoffs. 21st start of the year. He is 8-7 with a 3.19 ERA. He's 26 years old, fastball at 89, and a ground ball pitcher. He has faced the Marlins once, 5 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Good evening, Big Dave. How are you? His last start for Millwood came against the Mets on the 30th, so just 5 or 6 days ago. A 7-inning, 9-4 win over the Mets. 88 pitches, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned. A homer, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. That start against the Marlins was on the 25th in Miami. Overall for Millwood, 118 1/3 innings, 104 hits, 48 runs, 42 earned, 20 homers allowed. He's walked 35 and struck out 81. And the lineup he'll face in this big ball game in Atlanta: Dave Berg will lead off at second base for the Marlins. Derek Lee at first will bat second. Cliff Floyd in left bats third. Preston Wilson cleans up in center. Mike Lowell at third will bat fifth. Kevin Millar, who's had an amazing year, will bat sixth and play right field. Charles Johnson back behind the plate for the Squishy Fishies. He'll bat seventh. Gonzalez at short going 8th, and Ryan Dempster, who should throw about 120 pitches, will bat 9th. For the Braves, defensively, B.J. Surhoff a 4-4 in left. Andrew Jones a 10-6 in center. Brian Jordan is a 7-9 in right. Chipper Jones a 3 at third. Sanchez is a 7 at short. Giles a 4 at second. Julio Franco is at first. He's a 5. Paul Bacco, again, remember the last time we were on, Bacco had a big ball game. He's a 4 and a 5 behind the plate. And Millwood is a 7 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Florida cannot win the division today. They have a one-game lead over the Phillies, and they can knock the Braves out of everything with the win. The Braves cannot win the wild card. The Cubs, by the way, lead that by 2. Berg had 301, 3 homers, and 33 RBI. And there's a base hit in the right field, and that's how this one starts. A cool day in Atlanta, or a cool Friday night, 65 degrees, winds blowing out to left at 6. Here is Derek Lee at 270, 13 homers, and 82 RBI. Berg, not a threat to steal. Lee, a ground ball to Sanchez, should be 2. Giles for 1, and the ageless Julio Franco for 2. So 2 out on the 6-4-3 double play. Nobody on for Cliff Floyd at 309, 34 homers, and 111 RBI. Pitch from Millwood. Floyd strikes out, and that'll do it. No runs, a hit, and the double play is big. Half an inning in the books. Florida nothing. Here come the Braves. And Ryan Dempster hopes to deliver the knockout blow for Florida over Atlanta. Obviously, on this last Friday of the regular season, making his final start of the year, he's had a very good replay. 12-10 with a 4.16 ERA. He's 24 years old, making his 34th and last start of the year. Throws that slider at 92 and is a standard pitcher. This will be his 3rd start against the Braves. 13 innings, 16 hits, 6 runs, all earned. He has walked 5 while striking out 14. He has beaten the Braves twice with an earned run average of 4.15. Yet he hasn't faced the Braves in forever. His last start came on September 28th, and no decision in the 6-4 win over the Phillies. 7 innings, 124 pitches, 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned, a homer. He has walked 5 and struck out 7. So 203 in the 3rd innings for Dempster, 184 hits, 102 runs, 94 earned, 16 homers. He's walked 100 and struck out 170. The lineup he will face. I'm going to try to move this mic closer. No, can't do it with that. It'll be Marcus Giles leading off at second for Atlanta. Julio Franco at first will bat second. It'll be Chipper Jones at third, batting third. Brian Jordan cleans up in right. How you doing, Steeler fan? B.J. Surhoff in left will bat fifth. Andrew Jones in center will go sixth. Sanchez at short, batting seventh. Paul Baco behind the plate bats eighth. And Millwood, who threw all of 9 pitches in his half of the first, should throw 105, will bat ninth. And of course, the Houston Astros have a very vested interest in who wins the National League East. They still have the best record in the NL, but you never know. And so they could be facing the Marlins in the NLDS. Cliff Floyd or the Braves. Cliff Floyd is a 6-4 in left, or possibly the Phillies. Preston Wilson is a 5 and an 8 in center. Kevin Millar is a 2 and a 5 in right. Mike Lowell a 4 at third. Alex Gonzalez a 5 at short. Dave Berg a 5 at second. Derek Lee a 7 at first. Johnson an 8 and a 6 behind the plate. Dempster is an 8 on the mound with a 945 fielding percentage. Giles pops this one up left side as I hit the wrong button. Gonzalez moving over into foul territory. 1 out. The ageless Julio Franco, who I think, along with D. Scott Howard and Methuselah, went to junior high together, at 268, a homer and 8 RBI. Dempster deals. Franco a ground ball to third. Lowell across the way. And there are 2 outs. For Chipper Jones, Chipper at 301, 28 homers and 100 RBI. It's going to get the RBI total just about right, but unless he hits 10 home runs over the weekend, he won't come close to his home run total. Dempster winds and deals. Base hit right field. Millar will throw it back in the infield. And Chipper has 10 steals on the year. He's not going here. Brian Jordan at 287, 18 homers and 72 RBI. If it looks like where the Braves might fall short, Steeler fans using his Amazon Prime for 16 straight months. You can tie your Amazon Prime account to my Twitch channel if you're not using it elsewhere, and it won't cost you a penny. Anyway, what I was saying, if there is a weakness with the Braves and why they've kind of not played as well as they did in real life, they're just not pumping out the offense. Pitch to Jordan, ground ball to third. Lowell snares it, goes to second for the out, and that will do it. Braves strand one, no run on a hit and no errors. We go to the second here in Atlanta, no score. So here's Preston Wilson, Lowell, and Millar to follow. Preston at 263, 14 homers and 73 RBI. Millwood starts the second, strike three. Got him on an 0-2 curve looking. One out. For Mike Lowell at 295, 16 homers and 103 RBI. Got him. That's three for Millwood as Lowell chased a 1-2 curve. So two out for Millar at 330. 23 homers and 97 RBI. Millwood deals. Millar into right center. Jones moving over, and Andrew will make the catch. The Marlins go in order. We go to the bottom of the second. No score. I'm trying to move this microphone again. There, you should be able to hear me better now. Here's B.J. Surhoff to lead off the second for the Braves. B.J. at 265, 13 homers, and 56 RBI. Dempster deals. Ground ball to third. Lowell will scarf it up over to Lee. One out. Brings up Andrew Jones, 256, 36 homers, and 88 RBI. For those of you who've asked about my wife, she is doing better. If you do not know, she took a spill Friday, just as her day was ending, and 3 stitches to the forehead. They were able to repair her glasses today so she can see again. She's doing much better, and we are grateful for that, and for those of you on Facebook who sent her well wishes. Pitch to Jones. Andrew swings. Ground ball to Gonzalez. Alex throws to first, and Lee is there for the out. 2 away for Ray Sanchez, hitting 227, no homers and 8 RBI. So just as the wife is starting to recover from her injuries, 5.5 hours in the waiting room on a Friday night is just how she wanted to spend it. Our cat was diagnosed with a fungal and bacterial infection yesterday. And so she is holding her own. She's been given some antibiotics and is doing all the things she's supposed to be doing, eating and going to the bathroom and all that. So it's not been a fun weekend here in Burlington. I gave you Sanchez's numbers, right? Anyway, pitch to Ray. Struck him out. First strikeout for Dempster, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the third here in Atlanta, no score. Yeah, John, it's been a crazy week, and Sarah is doing just fine, thank you. Charles Johnson at 231, 15 homers and 55 RBI. This is game 160 for both teams. And so, yeah, it's been an adventure for sure. Not a lot of sleep on my end either. Pitch to Johnson. Charles into left center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Surhoff will grab it. He'll throw it to third, and Johnson has his 30th double of the year. So that's the second hit for the Marlins. And they have a runner in scoring position. Remember, if Florida wins, the Braves are done. They cannot win the wild card, and Florida will be 3 up on them with 2 to go. Alex Gonzalez at 249, 16 homers, and 72 RBI. Our next baseball broadcast should be Thursday at 11:30 for that Philadelphia-Cincy doubleheader. And then Friday, we'll figure out what we're going to do for any meaningful games. Pitch to Gonzalez. Alex a ground ball to third. Chipper has it. Johnson has no speed. Stays at second. The throw to Franco is in time. 1 out. For Dempster, who's in a position to bunt. Ryan hitting .070 with 2 RBI. So Johnson, we expect to go to third on the bunt. 1 out. Millwood pitches. Dempster puts it down. Franco has it. Throws to Giles covering the bag at first. And Johnson moves to third with 2 out. So Millwood, opening 9, 31 pitches, 2 2/3, 2 hits, and 3 strikeouts. Berg single to start the ballgame. The Marlins would love a base hit right about now. Won't get it as Millwood strikes him out. Got him looking. So no runs. The Marlins leave on their first runner. We go to the bottom of the third here in Atlanta. It's the Marlins nothing, the Braves nothing. So here's Paul Bacco at 222. Karen Valentine says hi, by the way. 3 homers and 13 RBI. Dempster starts the third with a ground ball to Gonzalez. Alex has it, throws to first. Bacco is running and is safe. Are you kidding me? An infield single from Paul Bacco. And in the corner of the Braves dugout, Greg Maddux is smiling. Millwood is not a good bunter. He's a 3 out of 10. He's hitting .081 with an RBI. The move here is to bunt. So he'll try to drop one down. He does. Johnson goes to second. They get Bacco. The throw to first is late. Let's not bunt Giles. And Millwood reaches. So it's a sacrifice and a fielder's choice. Right? No, it would not be a sacrifice because the runner wasn't moved. It's a fielder's choice. And it goes 2-4. So opening 9 for Dempster. 33 pitches, 2 1/3. 22 pitches, or 33 pitches, 2 hits, and a strikeout. Giles is 0 for 1. There's a ground ball to Gonzalez. Might be 2. He cannot get Millwood. He will throw to first, and Marcus is safe. So another infield hit for the Braves. They have 2 on the inning, but nothing to show for it. Here's Franco. He is 0 for 1. I promise I'll be better doing this tomorrow. Pitch to Franco. There's a base hit in the right field. Millar will pick it up. Millwood, are they going to even? No, they are not going to send him. Stops at third with 1 out. Here in the third, the bases are loaded on the rare bad play by Kevin Millar. And so here's Chipper Jones, who singled his first time up. You can hear this sellout crowd in Atlanta do the tomahawk chop as Millwood is on third. Giles, who can score on a single on second, and Franco, who has the speed of a rusted Yugo on first. So Dempster takes a deep breath. Chipper waves the bat back and forth. There's a line drive to center. Wilson, does he get there? Yes. Millwood will tag. The throw to the plate is not in time. So it's a sac fly for Chipper Jones, and the Braves go up 1-0. Good play by Wilson to flag that one down. So 1-0 Atlanta in a must-win game for them. Brian Jordan is 0 for 1. Struck him out. However, that's the side. 1 run, however, for the Braves on 3 hits and no errors. We go to the 4th here in Atlanta. On a cool night, the Braves 1, the Marlins 0. So Derek Lee, Cliff Floyd, and Preston Wilson to face Millwood here in the 4th. Lee strikes out. Millwood has fanned 5. Got him swinging on the cutter. So the Braves needed a stand and deliver performance from somebody, and Kevin Millwood has given it to him. Here's Cliff Floyd. He struck out his first time up. Ground ball to Giles. Marcus over to first. 2 out. So here is Preston Wilson. Preston struck out his first time up. Millwood has held the Marlins to 2 hits with 2 outs here in the 4th. And Wilson draws the walk. And he does have speed. Here is Mike Lowell. Mike struck out his first time up. Throw to first. And Wilson is back. So the tying run on. If the Marlins win, the Braves are eliminated. There goes Wilson to throw down to Giles, and Preston is out. They got him. So Paul Bacco threw him out. After 3.5, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. It's the Braves 1, the Marlins 0. So here are the standings. The Astros have the best record in the National League at the moment. Subject to change. The Giants have won the West at 91-68. San Francisco beat up on Houston midweek. Chicago leads the wild card. There's only 2 teams. Well, technically Florida if they don't win the division. But you would have to contort yourself into a pretzel to even consider that. So the wild card is either going to be the Cubs or the Diamondbacks. In fact, the Cubs can clinch today on the stream. They have a 2-game lead over Arizona with 3 to play. So it all comes down to the National League East. The Marlins lead the Phillies by 1. They are rained out in Cincinnati. That's why they have a doubleheader. And Atlanta must win to stay in the race. In the American League, we know everything but the winner of the East. Seattle by 11 over Oakland. They're both going. Oakland's the wild card. Chicago, that final margin isn't going to be as close as they wanted to, but they don't care. They're going to the playoffs. The Yankees and the Red Sox, there's no wild card to backstop anybody. Boston and Baltimore will, I believe, have a doubleheader after we play this game, not on the stream. So the Yankees' magic number is 3. The Marlins' magic number is 3. Any questions? So we know that the American League East winner will play Seattle, and the A's will play Chicago in the American League Divisional Series. The National League Divisional Series, we know 2 of the 4 teams, but we're not quite sure who they play yet. B.J. Surhoff is 0 for 1. Dempster starts the fourth, struck him out. He got him to chase a 1-2 curve. So here's Andrew Jones. Andrew is 0 for 1. He has hit 36 homers on the year. Struck him out. A good morning and a good afternoon as Dempster got him to chase on the 2-2 slider. So that'll bring up Ray Sanchez, who struck out his first time up. And Ray hits a ground ball to Lee. Derek to the bag himself, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the fifth here in Atlanta. It is Atlanta 1, Florida nothing. So Mikey Lowell is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Millwood starts the fifth. Ground ball to Giles. In almost on the grass. Bang banger over to Franco, and Lowell is retired, 1 away. For Millar, who's 0 for 1. We're going to test out a football game tomorrow. You know the game. It's just how long does it take to play it? Talking to you guys, because I don't remember. So we go back to 1980. For a preseason clash between the Houston Oilers and the Dallas Cowboys. Kenny Stabler versus Danny White. Earl Campbell versus Tony Dorsett. Millar is 0 for 1. And Kevin hits a ground ball to Franco, and Julio can't play it. It plays him. It went under the glove. You know how that play looks. And Millar is on with 1 out. And that'll bring up Johnson, who doubled his first time up. You knew that summer was over when you saw the annual Cowboy Oiler game with Pat and John to end the preseason. Pitch to Charles Johnson. Fly ball, center field. Jones moving over. Andrew will make the catch. Millar was halfway to second and goes back. Alex Gonzalez is 0 for 1. I was watching parts of Game 7 of the 1979 World Series. Don't ask me why. It's been a week. And in like a scoreless game, it was a 1-0 Oriole lead in the fifth. Pitch to Gonzalez. Line drive center field. Jones makes the catch. And I'll finish that story in a moment. Halfway home on a cool night here in Burlington, it is the Braves 1, the Marlins nothing. Well, if you join us late, there's only been 1 run scored in the game. The Braves, with their backs against the wall, there's no wild card safety net. They must win this and win out pretty much through the weekend to win the division. They lead 1-0 on a Chipper Jones single in the third. Actually, I think that was a sac fly. Kevin Millwood, a 2-hitter through 5. He has stood tall. He's walked 1 and struck out 5. Ryan Dempster, just the 1 run, a 4-hitter through 4, and struck out 4. That's right, the battle of the hat. Bum versus Tom. The cowboy hat versus the fedora. Yeah, Jamie, this is a good one. Double header Thursday at 11:30. The aforementioned Philadelphia-Cincinnati doubleheader. But we might have a lot of resolution for everything else except for the National League East tonight. Paul Bacco is 1-for-1. I can't promise you anything Friday. The wife has to get her stitches out Friday, I believe. I don't remember. So we'll see about Friday. Ryan Dempster starts the 5th. Struck him out. That's 5 for Ryan. Bacco swung on and missed a hard fastball. 1 out for Millwood, who's going to have to swing here. He scored on the sac fly by Chipper Jones. The cap, by the way, Jamie is holding her own. Pitch to Millwood. Ground ball to first. Lee takes it to the bag himself, and Millwood is retired. So 2 out. I never gave you Marcus Giles numbers to start the ball game. Currently at 275, 8 homers, 6 triples, and 33 RBI. 2 outs in the 5th. Dempster threw 18 batters, 70 pitches, 4 2/3, 4 hits, and 5 strikeouts. Today, Giles is 1 for 2 with a single. Dempster winds and fires. Ground ball to Gonzalez deep in the hole. Over to Lee for the out, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 6th here in Atlanta. A cool night, 62 degrees, 1-0 Braves. She's doing a lot better, Jamie. Her glasses were fixed today so she can see again. And most of the stitches the stitches in the forehead or the eyebrow came from her glasses. She is hoping to go to work tomorrow after all that. Ryan Dempster sacrificed his last time up. Millwood starts the 6th, strike 3. So Kevin is fan 6. Dempster swung on a 2-2 fastball. 1 out. Millwood opening 18, 71 pitches, 5 1/3, 2 hits, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Berg is 1 for 2 with a strikeout. You guys are old enough to remember local talk shows at night on radio, right? Pitch to Berg. Line drive, foul, third base side. A ball and 2 strikes the count. Someone from Alpha Ferretta makes that catch. Got him. That's 7 for Millwood. A 1-2 curveball that Berg just watched. So 2 out for Derek Lee, who has grounded into a double play and struck out, not necessarily in that order. So I don't think anyone from New England, you won't remember vaudeville. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime girl. So, for those of you familiar with WBZ out of Boston, I don't know if I've told this story before. I might have told it on the podcast. We're supposed to record that tomorrow, by the way. Derek Lee is 0 for 2 in the strikeout. So there was a guy that was on overnight, Friday night, Saturday morning, by the name of Norm Nathan. Pitch to Lee. Derek hits a ground ball to Sanchez over to Franco, and that will retire the side. Marlins go in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. We continue the story. Bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Braves. So Franco, Chipper Jones, and Brian Jordan to face Dempster here in the 6th. Well, I remember listening in college, because I'm old enough to remember vaudeville too, Jamie, and people would call up and talk about their health problems or whatever. Nam, got my cataracts done. That's great, Olivia. I'm delighted for you. That's how this week has felt to me. Trying to do a ball game and getting everyone's health updates in. I hear Jack Benny might be going back to vaudeville too. Julio Franco, speaking of vaudeville, is 1 for 2 with a single. And I'll just get this out of the way right now. Vaudeville, in those acts that would be playing at the Orpheum and other great theaters, is something you would never hear about on a Fortnite stream. Pitch to Julio. There's a ground ball to Gonzalez over to Lee, and Julio is out. So one away for Chipper Jones. Chipper has a single and a sac fly. That drove home Kevin Millwood in the third for the game's only run. So another nail-biter here as we come to the end of the 2001 regular season. Pitch to Jones. Line drive to right. Millar makes the catch, 2 out. So here's Jordan. Brian is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And he draws the 2-out walk. Dempster slams the ball in the glove. A 3-1 fastball missed high and in. And then I'll bring up Surhoff. BJ is 0 for 2. He is struck out. There's a base hit the opposite way into left center field, and Floyd will grab it. Jordan is going to try for third with 2 out because they need the run. He's on his way. The throw to Lowell is not in time. I think that throw got away. In fact, it did, and the run scores. So it was a rush throw, and it got past Lowell, and Jordan ends up scoring. A huge run for Atlanta. They lead it 2-0. So, wowzers, a big, big run for Atlanta. They say that run is earned, but with 2 outs, you think that when the inning is reconstructed, they'll take that off for Dempster. Andrew Jones is 0 for 2. He is struck out. Surhoff goes, base hit, right, left center field. Jones digging for 2. He's in there with the double, and the Braves can think about living another day. Maybe. It's 3-0 Atlanta. So here's Ray Sanchez. Ray is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. I forgot to finish my thought about the 79 World Series. So halfway through a 1-0 Game 7, they run the promo for Monday Night Football. And Howard Cosell, what's he want to talk about with the tying run on first? He wants to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Can you imagine how upset people would have been today? Crucial junction of the championship game. Let's talk about the Steelers. Pitch to Sanchez. Little ground ball to third. Lowell over to Lee. And Sanchez is going to beat this out? No, they got him. Not before the Braves get 2 runs on 2 hits and an error. We go to the 7th here in Atlanta. It's Atlanta 3, Florida 0. So Floyd, Wilson, and Lowell. The error is costly as the Braves score 2. Floyd is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Ball 4, and Floyd runs down to first. Yeah, those Pirate uniforms were crazy. So were the Orioles. The Orioles had the road grays, the home whites, and those softball oranges. The Pirates had the stovepipe hats in yellow pinstripes, along with yellow uniforms and softball black uniforms with yellow pants, which I think were their standard road uniforms. Yep, the Pirates hats and those stars on them like college football. From Willie Stargell. Everyone in the NL in 76 had the stovepipe type hat with the stripes to commemorate the centennial of the National League, but the Pirates kept them for quite a while into the 80s. Wilson is 0 for 1, a walk and a strikeout. Yep, they were the Oregon Ducks of the MLB before Nike took over. and had about 10 combinations. Baco and Millwood try to get on the same page. They change some signs. Wilson walks. And so now the tying run is Lowell at the plate. Nobody out here in the 7th, and Mike is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Slow ground ball to Giles. They're only going to get one, and that's Lowell at first. So Floyd and Wilson move up for Millar. Now, do you walk Millar? Well, no, you're up 3, so you don't. So 1 out. Millwood coming to the end of his night, and he would bat second in the bottom of the 7th. 3-0 Braves in a game they must win. Pitch to Kevin. Slow chopper to Sanchez. They'll concede the run to get the out, and Franco is there. So 2 out. The Marlins are on the board in a 3-1 game. And here is Charles Johnson, who is 1 for 2 with a double. So Wilson is on third. Millwood has only allowed 2 hits. He has done yeoman's work. He has struck out 7. Takes a deep breath and deals. Laced to center. Jones makes the catch. He's going to dive for it and can't get it. It's 3-2. Gets all the way to the wall, and Johnson's on with a double. And hey, I got a driver I got to download. Isn't that exciting? So the Marlins strike back with 2. And they are going to bring in, who have they got? It is righty. Cianez is the one that choked up the hairball the other day. It's Jose Cabrera. And he is only in to close this out. No, he's the one that coughed up the hairball. His ERA can't be found. It's 4.04. 6-2, 3 saves. 62nd appearance for Jose. 29 years old. Fastball at 92 and a standard pitcher. He just needs 1 out. He's facing the Marlins for the 9th time. He's faced them well. 8 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned. A walk, 6 strikeouts. 1-0 with an earned run average of .338. Again, it was his bad outing against the Phillies 2 nights ago in game time that set up the situation where the Braves are do or die. He only got 1 out, 18 pitches, a hit, a 2-run homer, or a home run. Both of them earned 2 runs and a walk. 55 2/3 innings, 41 hits. That was the Abreu Grand Slam. So Cabrera split that. 28 runs, 25 earned. That was the 3rd home run he allowed. 20 walks and 38 strikeouts. We hope that midlife crisis got his FedEx shipment of nitro pills just fine after that. Gonzalez is 0 for 2. Johnson the tying run on second with 2 out in a 3-2 ball game. Cabrera deals, ground ball to Franco, and Cabrera does his job. That will retire the side, but stretch time 3-2 Braves. So the Marlins get 2 runs, a hit, and no errors. Baco is 1 for 2 with a strikeout. Javi Lopez is still on the active roster. So I'm not quite sure why Paul is doing the catching, but that's what he's doing. Dempster starts the bottom of the 7th, just trailing by 1. But all 3 Braves runs are earned. Pitch to Baco. Struck him out. That's 6 for Ryan. Cabrera, his day is done. Who can hit a righty? It'll be Davey Martinez hitting 179 as a pinch hitter with 3 RBI. Overall, 240, 3 homers, and 20 RBI. Braves 3, Marlins 2, 1 out, bottom of the 7th, in a must-win game for Atlanta. Pitch to Martinez, base hit up the middle. Wilson grabs it on a hard hop. And a 1-out single for Marcus Giles. So it was 1 for 3 with the single. Dempster opening 27, 101 pitches, 6 1/3, 7 hits, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Pitch to Giles, ground ball to Gonzalez, great play. Berg for 1, Lee for 2, and Gonzalez very deep in the hole. Not only robs them of a hit, but turns a double play. After 7 here in Atlanta, it's still 3-2. So righties all around. Kerry Ligtenberg will come in to pitch. Kerry is 30 years old. The righty is 3-6 with 2 saves and an earned run average of 328. Fastball at 94 and a ground ball plus pitcher. Against these Marlins, 6 appearances coming into this, but has not pitched well. 5 2/3, 10 hits, 5 runs all earned, 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. He is 0-1 with a 7.94 ERA. He hasn't pitched since September 30th, so has plenty of rest. A 9-4 win over the Mets. He went 2/3 of an inning and struck out 2 on 13 pitches and a walk. So no one made contact against Ligtenberg. That mattered. 49 1/3 innings, 46 hits, 20 runs, 18 earned, 2 homers. He's walked 30 and struck out 45. John Smoltz is starting to loosen in the Braves' pen. Dempster is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Let's see if they leave him in the ballgame. They will not. It is Louis Castillo. And the best thing that can happen for the Braves is to get into that Marlins pen. Castillo does not have a pinch hit, but he does have a pinch hit RBI. Overall, 236, 10 triples, a homer, and 40 RBI. Ligtenberg starts the 8th, strike 3. A 1-2 curve got him swinging. For Dave Berg, who's 1 for 3, he has singled and struck out twice. 2 runs, 3 hits, an error, and the Marlins have stranded 3. The Braves, 3 runs, 7 hits, an error, and they have stranded 4. Remember, after the ball game, we will do everything that matters, so hang in there, and hopefully we can get some more answers for you, like who are the Astros and Giants going to play. Pitch to Berg, draws the walk, and Dave is the tying run with 1 out for Derek Lee, who is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Ligtenberg takes a deep breath. It's a cool night, as we said, here in Atlanta. 58 degrees. Winds blowing right to left at 2. Berg not a threat to steal. Lee, a chopper to third. Chipper to Giles for 1, but Lee is going to reach as the throw to Franco is late. So 2 out. Again, Lee the tying run. Cliff Floyd, who's 0 for 2, will walk. A run scored in the 7th, and a strikeout is the go-ahead run. Got him! What an inning for Leitenberg. So after 7.5, the Marlins leave a runner on. Atlanta looking for some insurance. They lead 3-2. And they'll face Juan Acevedo, who has pitched horribly for Florida in this replay. Oh, in real life, he went 2-3 with a 2.54 ERA. In the replay, since coming over on August 7th, he has pooped the bed several times. He is 1-3 with a 10.54 ERA. So advantage Braves, Acevedo 31, fastball at 92, and a fly ball plus pitcher. Against the Braves since coming over, 4 games, hitting in 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks and a strikeout. Look at those ERAs. The Cubs, he has bought that entire team a lunch. And somehow with a 21.21 ERA, he has a win. That's bad. Faced the Braves down in Florida on the 27th, so he hasn't pitched in a week. 5-4 loss. He went an inning, 22 pitches, allowed a hit, an earned run, a walk, and a strikeout, but it was not the winning run. 27 and a third overall for Juan. 37 hits, 35 runs, 32 earned. A homer. He has walked 28 and struck out 15. Franco is 1 for 3 with a single. Ground ball right side, base hit. Berg should have had it. And the Braves have the leadoff runner on here in the 8th inning. For Chipper Jones, 1 for 2, a single and a sac fly. Ground ball to Gonzalez, might be 2. Berg for 1, Lee for 2. And so there's 2 out, nobody on for Brian Jordan, who was 0 for 2, a run scored, a walk, and a strikeout. For the Marlins in the 9th, Preston Wilson, Mike Lowell, and Kevin Millar. And somewhere in the internet, we are paging Bernie Strom for the Red Sox show here. Acevedo winds and deals. That's into left center. Wilson moving over, and that will retire the side. That'll do it for Leitenberg. The walk did not hurt. John Smoltz coming in. The Braves need 3 outs. Smoltz pitched last night. He is 34 years old. He is 5-4 with 11 saves. He's only failed twice and an earned run average of 484. How you doing, Curtis? Nice to have you along. Against Florida, 1 start, 4 games, 6 2/3, 11 hits, 9 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 1-1 the record with the save. So he pitched last night in gaming time to get the save against the Phils. In a 5-4 win, he went 1 inning on 13 pitches and didn't do anything else besides that. 57 2/3 for John, 52 hits, 31 runs, all earned, 8 home runs allowed. He's walked 11 and struck out 49. It does not give you, break out the stats between starter and reliever. So I really can't help with that. Except for, well, he hasn't pitched well down the stretch. A 6.39 ERA in September and October. It'll be Wilson, Lowell, and Millar here in the ninth. Preston 0 for 1. He has walked twice and struck out once and scored in the seventh. 3 runs, 8 hits, an error for Atlanta, and they have left on 4. There is no wind, by the way, and it is a cool 57 degrees. Florida needs 1 to tie and 2 to go ahead. 2 runs, 3 hits, an error, and they have left on 4. Braves must win. And Smoltz trying to do it. Pitch to Wilson. Struck him out. A 2-2 fastball got him looking. So here's Lowell. Mike is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Smoltz walks around the mound, takes a deep breath, and deals. Base hit left field. So the tying run is on. And Eric Owens is going to pinch run for Mikey Lowell. Owens isn't going to steal you a bag, but he has a 7 out of 10 speed. Kind of like what most of you guys did on your Schwinns as kid, right? Well, I got 25 speed, but I love 7. Kevin Millar is 0 for 3 and has an RBI. Smoltz was from the same area Rangers baseball fan is from. Our high schools played in the same league, but he's a couple years younger. John Smoltz came to the Braves in '87. Traded for Doyle Alexander and a player to be named later, which just happened to be Doyle Alexander. Millar waves it back and forth. Owens, again, not a threat to steal. 1 out. Smoltz looking for 2. Fly ball, right center. Andrew rides a Schwinn, 2 out. So last chance saloon for the Marlins. The Braves 1 out away to fight another day. Charles Johnson has had himself a day. He has doubled twice and drove home a run in the 7th. He's 2 for 3. So Smoltz stands tall on the mound. 3-2 Braves, 2 outs in the 9th. Struck him out and the Braves win. He got him to chase a fastball, and the Braves are 1 back with 2 to go. So it took 2 hours and 54 fake minutes to do this. 3 runs, 8 hits, an error for Atlanta. They left on 4. Florida, 2 runs on 4 hits and an error, and they left on 5. And I don't know who I would pick for the MVP. They're going to say Smoltz. I thought Millwood is who I'd give it to. Millwood gets the win, 9-7, 6 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 3 and struck out 7. Smoltz worked around the hit to strike out 2. Cabrera and Leitenberg pitched well too. Dempster closes his 2001 regular season ledger. 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Yep, Jamie, we've had some good ones down the stretch. Normally I'd go earlier, but RJL was not on tonight. Usually he is at 7:30, and since we share the sport, I don't usually go against him. So at the moment, Philly is a half game back. They do not play. Atlanta is 1 back. So let's do this. Let's show you everything else that has some meaning here. Let's do the Red Sox or Orioles doubleheader first. Castillo and Kohlmeyer in the first one. And the Red Sox lose 8-6. Buddy Groom goes to 3-10. Derek Lowe falls to 11-7. Lou Merlone 3-for-4, his second of the year, and drives in 3. So the Yankee lead is 2. The magic number is 2. Mercedes and Kim and gain 2. And the Red Sox have put the Yankees on the brink of winning the division because Baltimore beats them 9-2. Jeff Conine, 3 hits, a homer, and 5 RBI in one of the games. Oh, you watched this both. Was he on late? I looked to see because I almost came on early. So the Yankees' magic number is 1. If Roger Clemens can beat Tampa Bay, it's over. Roger Clemens has beaten Tampa Bay, and the Yankees have won the American League East. So the American League picture is all set. Clemens strikes out 6. He goes to 14-2. Or 14-12. It was a Bernie Williams single in the 7th. A two-run single to put the Yankees up. He was a few minutes late. Okay. To put them up 3-2. David Justice gets the RBI double late for the insurance run. The Yankees win the division. And so the American League is set. It'll be the Yankees in Seattle, Oakland, and Chicago. Remember, Philly was rained out. If the Cubs beat the Pirates, and that's the next game we're going to quick sim, the Cubs will have won the wild card. And they do. Beret gets his 9th win. Jason in the clincher, 7 2/3, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts, and 2 walks. So San Francisco will play Chicago. Houston, Steeler fan, gets the East winner because Houston can't play Chicago. Roosevelt Brown, a 2-run shot in the 3rd, puts the Cubs into the playoffs. They are the NL wild card. Does not matter what Arizona does, I don't think. Oh, wait. It kind of does, because now it's 3 with 2 to go. Nope, it's over. Milwaukee helped out 7-3 over Arizona. So Houston has won the division. The Cubs have won the wild card. Philly and Cincinnati will be our next baseball broadcast. I think we did everything that meant something. So a quick sim of the rest of the day. Toronto and Cleveland, a doubleheader at Skydome, which is interesting because of the roof and all that. And so what do you do when you play 2 games of meaningless baseball? Well, the second game goes 15 innings. Blue Jays sweep 8-5 in the first. Halladay over Finley. Roy's 11-5. Finley 9-6. Stewart 4-for-5 and 3 doubles. In the nightcap, imagine that. It took 5 hours and 50 minutes for 2 teams that were done. Thanks, John. You as well. So the Blue Jays sweep the Indians. Montreal beats the Mets 5-1. Thurman 3-9. Al Leiter 6-13. Cleveland in one of those games had 15 hits and 4 errors. Toronto had 19 hits. Let's see. St. Louis beats Houston 6-3. Woody Williams 7-1. Wade Miller 13-8. Mark McGwire is 25th, 2-for-2 with 3 RBI. Milwaukee, as we said, beats Arizona 7-3. The White Sox might win 100 games. They beat the Twins 8-3. Mark Burley 17-9. Rick Reed goes to 3-5. Jose Valentin 2-for-5 is 27th. D. Scott Howard wishes he was here. Houston has a one-game lead for best record, but again, it won't matter because the Cubs are the wild card. 6-3 Dodgers, Carrera 9-6, Estes 11-10, Davis is third of the year, 1-for-1. San Diego shuts out Colorado 6-0. Jarvis a complete game. Kevin strikes out 7, throws a one-hitter. How about that? Mariners have won 110. They beat Texas 7-4. You're welcome. Jamie Moyer 18-7. Aaron Helling goes to 18-8. And last but not least, Anaheim 7, Oakland 6. Pote 5-3 or Pote. Guthrie 6-6. David Eckstein 2-for-3. A double and 2 stolen bases. So everything else is now done except for the National League East. So our next stream for baseball Thursday, expect that to be 11:30. It'll be Philly and the Reds in a doubleheader. And if we need to go, it'll be Omar Dahl and Elmer Dessens in Game 1, Coggin versus Hamilton in Game 2. And so, if needed, Sunday, the last day of the season, we will do either whatever is meaningful. So, Philly, Cincy, Florida, Atlanta. Oh, by the way, the Cardinals have overhauled Brooklyn on June 15, 41. Cards up by game. There's some fierce battles. I highly recommend 46 and 49. Just saying. So, we'll have the Philly-Cincy doubleheader for you Thursday. And then, if needed, Philly-Cincy, Florida, Atlanta. So, everything else has been settled. So once again, before we say goodnight, here are the American League LDSs. The Yankees and the Mariners. Oakland and the White Sox. In the National League, we know that the Cubs are the wild card, so they have to play San Francisco. Houston will play the NL East winner. 1980 football for you tomorrow. Preseason, well, just a show-off game between the Cowboys and the Oilers. Noon Eastern, hope for that one. To see you there live on Twitch. Have a good night, everybody. So long. Football, yep. We're going to try to see how long it takes me to play 2nd and 10 in chat. So we're going to do the 80 Cowboys and the Oilers. Until tomorrow at noon, I'm Ron Zucker. Thank you so much for watching, as always. We'll talk to you for some preseason meaningless football tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.